Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Sam from On Tabletop,
I'm Justin from On Tabletop.
and we're joined by Colin from Battlesystems. How you doing, mate?
Hi there. Very good. Thank you very much.
Now, of course, Core Space. We absolutely love the game here. I know you've played a lot of it in the past.
Yeah, well, I got some games in with Colin when he was coming across while the baby was still, pre-Kickstarter, but it has grown up into a
Yeah.
full-fledged game since then. So I think the best thing to do is actually just start getting some info from Colin about the game itself for
Yeah.
anyone who hasn't actually seen it before. So, Colin, that's always got to be the first question. Say I'm that person who's been living under a rock. I've never heard of Core Space before. What can you tell me about the game?
Okay, well, first of all, it's sci-fi. I love sci-fi. So it's a sci-fi miniatures game, a tabletop game, and it's set 1,500 years in the future, okay, in our galaxy, and it's actually set in the Perseus arm of our galaxy. As you may be aware, there's a big black hole at the centre of our galaxy, and in the game, that's been making some very worrying noises. And from there, there is a species, an alien species that is attacking the galaxy called the Purge. Okay, and they just basically want to break down everything in their path to biomass, your phone, everything else, the planets, the lot.
What, even my cheeseburger?
Cheeseburger especially, because I haven't experienced that where they are.
No,
so,
my Burger King.
yeah, well, that might kill them. We could try that.
Yeah, it's good to know, Justin, what your priorities would be in an alien invasion.
Dude, when the end comes, I'm protecting my cheeseburger first. Everybody else is secondary.
I'm just going to the Winchester.
Any rules? I just I'll have a look.
Okay.
But the game is actually set in the Barrens, which is a very sort of not a nice place to necessarily work or live, but people do. And the Barrens is just sort of set around the black hole. So at the very tip of the Perseus arm, the Purge are just a myth, really. But around the Barrens, they are present. They are slowly taking the galaxy apart. You play some traders, okay, and your job is to work there because it's risky, but the rewards are really good. So you're a team of traders. You've got your own ship. Your ship's falling apart around you, as it always is, and you need to kind of survive in that harsh environment, salvage, grab stuff, fight off the Purge, and all the things that you want to do, just so you can eat your next cheeseburger.
Well, it's space cheeseburger, but still a cheeseburger.
So we know what you're looting when it comes to outer space exploration.
Dude, I want a cheeseburger loot in this game.
Well, the Battlesystems make some really good terrain stuff. Maybe they can provide a cheeseburger. So how does the game itself play out when you're on the table?
Sorry, go on. Yeah. So basically, what it is, you can play it 1 to 6 player. You can play it solo. You can play it player versus player. You can play it co-op. It's set. Anyone that knows us, we've been doing 3D terrain since 2012. So it's set on a really beautiful 3D board, and you can go in and you play either individual missions or you can play it campaign style, and you basically have to maneuver through. Completing various missions in this very hostile environment, going through the terrain, searching through cargo, and and grabbing everything that you can. And then what happens is between games you actually trade. So when the game finishes, the game doesn't finish. You can level up your characters. You can sell the equipment that you've got, purchase new equipment, trade, visit shops to buy cheeseburgers, and various other bits and pieces. So you've got the actual play when you're actually playing, and you're fighting for the mission. Then between missions, you sell and trade and prepare yourself for the next mission.
We're never escaping the cheeseburger now in this interview, are we?
No. I mean, one thing I was about to mention as well that I remember from the games that we played was one of the things that I really loved about the game, Colin, was the NPCs. Who may or may not have a cheeseburger for me.
Correct. Yes. So you're playing the traders, maybe solo, or you've got another player with you with their own team of traders. And what happens is the Purge are controlled by the game, so they will basically move around you each turn and just really be nasty. But in addition to the Purge, you've also got other NPCs as well. So you've got civilians. Just general people out and about, caught up in it. They might trade with you, they might join you temporarily, they might attack you, they might run and hide. But you're also going to encounter things like roving gangs, and you're also going to the local police force would be there. You could have security, you could have the Galactic Corps, and they will all interact, and they might help you, they might attack you, but that all happens around you, and it makes the game really unique, because if you're playing player versus player, generally you're after the same objective, but the game can get, as the hostility level rises, the game can get so difficult with the purge coming in that you might say, look, we need to work together, otherwise we're going to lose everything. And so you can work together and then decide at which point, if at all, you sort of, turn around and give each other a quick stab in the back.
Well, we did have that beautiful mission where I actually couldn't get to my ship, and I had to hitch a lift out on Colin's one.
Hitch a lift?
Yeah, I actually had to hitch a lift off the game board to get out of the mission on Colin's spaceship.
That may be the first time where reading Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy actually makes you better at a sci-fi game.
Yeah, that was a really good mission. Yeah, and I think you repaid me by shooting a really powerful weapon out of my hand the next mission. I'm stealing it from me. But I won't hold any grudges for the next games.
Yeah. Now, of course, it's been a long journey from its first development days onto Kickstarter, and now when you're getting ready to pre-order. How has the game how did you first go about developing the game? How did it come to be?
Well, I mean, I've been playing this game in various, guises over the past few years, over the decade really. And when I started Battlesystems, I always wanted to do this game. But as a small company, we made sure that we could run successful Kickstarters and have a proper business and everything. And then I basically took the mechanic and put it into my favorite genre, sci-fi, and added in all the ingredients that I love, and hopefully everybody else does as well, which they seem to. And then we put it to Kickstarter, and it was a cracking success. And what we've done then is we've basically upgraded it as we've gone along. And we've taken lots of different suggestions about, some things that'd be really cool. So, for example, we've got all the characters which are on these little cards here.
Yeah, I remember these.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, since we played, Justin, we've added an armor slot in here, which is actually frees up some space in a tray, which I'll show you in a moment. And on the back of every card, every single trader can actually be a civilian as well in the game. We spoke about those NPCs.
Yeah.
So basically, it gives you any trader crews you've got that you're not using can populate the game, because you know what? When they're not traders and doing their job, they need to go out and buy a handheld some food of some description.
Yeah, food like substance.
And so they need to, and so those were just two examples of the things that happened whilst Kickstarter running that we decided to put into the game. And of course, when you then implement that with things like the character, the dashboards that we have. What that allows us to do is it allows us to have more room in our equipment tray here, more room to carry, and it just adds that little extra level of easy gameplay and fun really to the game whilst playing. Yeah,
I have to say that is something I really like seeing, is that versatility of being able to use a character either as a character like that, or a trader, or as a civilian. It does give the impression that these characters have lives outside of your own adventure.
They absolutely do, and it's really really sad when a character dies and you lose someone from your team. And often the way you recruit new crew members to your team is from the civilians that you meet in the game. They might join you. You can persuade them to join you, and that means that when you get them off the board, they come back onto your ship. You can actually hire them for less money because you've kind of saved them, as it were, whilst the purge are invading. So it's when you're playing the game, it's not just the objective. Often you'll find that you might miss the objective, but the mission was incredibly worth playing because you've gained an extra crew member, or you've found a particular piece of equipment that's going to help you in future missions.
For me, having those NPCs being able to be crew members, it gives me a reason to collect the entire range. There's nothing I hate more than I'll pick up something for my games and I'll not put it on the table. It just sits on my shelf and waits there. Having a reason to actually get it down and get it into the game gives me more reason as a player to actually pick these things up.
Yeah, true enough.
Definitely, and it's actually designed for that, because when you take an extra crew, it kind of comes with things like additional equipment specialized to them, additional event cards as well, so that when you pick that up, you can actually shuffle those into your event deck, which is one of the mechanics of the game. And that will then encourage those miniatures to come on. So you've got a new character, or you've got the Galactic Core expansion. Those event cards will then prompt you to bring those on at a particular time, should you draw it from the deck. So,
All right. Well, what we've been talking about this last while has actually been intriguing me, and I have a bit of a question about the actual development post Kickstarter, because it's great whenever a Kickstarter is running, you see everything's coming out, the ideas coming to life. Then the Kickstarter ends. I'm wondering, how much continued development have you guys done between end of Kickstarter and now?
okay, so again, we're kind of known for constantly developing once the Kickstarter's done. So with our terrain, we would end up giving a little bit extra, fitting some more on the sheets, upgrading a few items. Having been known for that, we wanted to do the same with Core Space, but we've literally gone crazy with it. So, we've spent money we didn't expect to spend, because we just want this game to continue for a long, long time. And so what we've done, we've done things like the rule book, which would have been a sort of an 80-page kind of very nice rule book, is now 176 pages.
Nice.
And now, don't let that put you off, because the core rules are still sort of 50, 60 pages, and there's some starter rules and so on and so forth. But we've then added in all the advanced rules, which once you've got comfortable with the game, you can do things like, I think it was Justin's suggestion, one of the Let's Play videos, you wanted to jump through a window and
yes.
Shooting both guns. It's that kind of thing. So we've got things like diving through windows and climbing and all sorts of things in there that you can do. And we just kept going and kept going. And in the end, we decided that we really wanted to flesh out the universe as well. So we've got the very, very end of the book, we've got lots of things about bios on all the characters, the universe, and generally really painted a picture and really fleshed out the background. And we've even got a section at the back, a kind of a behind-the-scenes section, which shows the development the Core Space went through, because it went through so much development, and additional things added, that we just thought, well, we're going to put that at the back, and before you know it, it's a 176-page deluxe hardback book for those on the Kickstarter. So that's just one example. Another great example, I mean, I showed you things like the armor slot and, upgrading the cards and the civilian side and all sorts of things. Those were things that we didn't agree on the Kickstarter, but we're just like, we must find a way to get this in, because it's going to support the game further down the line. One thing that I really wanted to do, though, was to make sure that when the game comes straight out the box, regardless of whether you're going to paint the miniatures, is to make sure the game is visually very easy to follow, and not taxing in any way, shape or form. So very, very recently, we decided to push and upgrade the miniature colours as well, because originally we were going for this classic kind of grey, which we still are for the traders, but what we've done, we've upgraded our plastics so that we've got I don't know how clear that's going to be, so we've got all the Purge characters are in kind of like a really nice tan colour, sort of battle droids, sort of Star Wars battle droids sort of tan colour, which is how it's depicted on all the art. And we've also upgraded the civilians as well, so that you can instantly tell them apart. So we've got them in this really nice blue colour. So that was a really, really big upgrade for us, because it affects everything from the moulds to the costings and cleaning of the tools and everything. But it was just something that I thought was a really good investment, because we've upgraded literally everything else in the box, and it was the one thing I was like, we got to get some fresh colours in there. So we've literally not stopped upgrading, even when we put things inside the boxes. The box is inside the box. We put art on just to make sure that every part of the game is as deluxe as it can possibly be. We've got flat pack dividers that go into the box, so that once you've opened it and set everything up, it all fits back into the box, all the little terrain pieces and everything, so you can still keep it on your shelf but have it like ready to play as quick as possible. We've upgraded the plastic clips that hold it together, and that was we commissioned an entirely new factory to specially make those, so that we can upgrade that for Core Space and the rest of our terrain as well. So we've got this constant kind of what's the best it can possibly be on Core Space, and I'm just absolutely stoked at how nice the game is now. The miniatures are beautiful.
Very cool. Very, very cool.
Yeah, it's great to see just the attention to detail and the thought you're putting into each aspect of this game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, it is currently up for pre-order. When do you plan for it to go on general release?
Okay, so we're hoping it's going to be on general release for purchase. You can pre-order it from now, obviously, but we're hoping it's going to be on general release around about March time, which means that if you did miss the Kickstarter, you can jump in. Of course, if you did miss the Kickstarter, you can jump in now and get a really good deal on Core Space, where we give you a few extra freebies and stuff, and it'll be delivered in March. You won't get that, in the retail, as it were. But also we're doing a little cheeky sale, because we've been running since 2012, and we've never, as a company, done a sale on any of our products. So we decided with the pre-order of Core Space that we'd do a really good sale as well. So we've got some ridiculous deals that we've got running on our website as well at the moment. It's our first time we've ever done it, so we just went in really, really big double mat setups and all sorts of crazy stuff, just tons of stuff chucked in free. So if you're looking for Core Space and you want some freebies, that's great. If you want some 3D terrain for any game, and of course all of our sci-fi terrain, when we was making our sci-fi terrain a couple of years ago, we knew Core Space was coming, so all of our terrain is sci-fi terrain is compatible with Core Space anyway. So many people at the moment are picking up Core Space that comes with the terrain, but also saying, you know what, I want this multi-level galactic set, and I want this big out wastelands area, command center or whatever. It's just a great time to pick that up now.
Didn't John recently do a project with the?
He was working on a big project. I'm not sure if we've seen it online just yet, but I remember he went for like a 6x4 table's worth of this stuff.
Oh, blimey!
Yeah.
This stuff does look fantastic when it's like that on the table. So, with it now on its way, what comes next? What is next for Core Space?
Well, again, a lot of the developments we did behind the scenes of Core Space, especially with the what we wanted to do was make sure that Core Space was kind of future-proofed, and so we did a lot of rule tweaking to make sure that it wasn't just a game that regardless of how great the game is, it wasn't a game you just put on your shelf and get out every now and again. You play it in its entirety and then you put it back. We wanted to say, well, hang on a minute. We want to expand the universe. We're setting this Perseus arm here. We've got 5 known alien races, but we've got the rest of the galaxy to explore. So we really want Core Space to kind of evolve. So as far as the game is concerned, we've kind of future-proofed it so that we can add additional characters. And in fact, there's a whole section in the book that allows you to develop your own characters for the game, and actually, bring in characters from anywhere you want, your own miniatures, and actually, make them into trader crews. But we're also going to be doing a lot of supported play as well around, the retail shops as well, to get people involved on online campaigns and just constantly supporting the game so that it can slowly evolve over the coming months and years to be, something that can really be, a huge universe of characters and play that you can just really get involved with.
All right, I have one final question for you, Colin, and it's something that I always like to get the info on for everybody out there, which is, if people are wanting to come along and actually meet up with the guys from Battlesystems, which events do you think you guys are going to be turning up to this year?
Okay, so we're definitely going to be at the UK Games Expo. We've been there for the last 7 or 8 years, I can't remember. It's an amazing family show. So we'll be at the UK Expo this year for definite. And we're planning to be at Essen as well, of course. So there's 2 whopping shows that are worth going to just because they're amazing. We'll be there. We'll have Core Space demo in there, so you can come along, try it out. If you like it, you can pick it up.
Awesome. So Core Space and Essen.
Core Space in Essen.
Oh, sorry.
UK Games Expo.
UK Games Expo in Essen.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm thinking about cheeseburgers.
Yeah.
Got it.
This is what we get for filming interviews before lunch. Never again.
Look at me. I'm wasting away here.
Okay, well, in that case, I think we're going to call it there. Colin, thank you very much for coming on the show and telling us more about Core Space.
Thanks very much, Chiz.
Yeah. If you want to find out more about Core Space, please leave some questions in the comments below.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to see if we can get Core Space on again.
Yeah. Although I do have a very quick question for everybody out there. Which part of Core Space, which part of a sci-fi universe would you love to see the guys at Battlesystems explore next?
That could work very well. In the meantime, we're gonna carry on here, and we'll see you in the next one.